And want to welcome everybody to our weekly Rotary meeting and our 101st year here serving our community. Again, for folks that just hopped on, if you have a guest or you are a visiting Rotarian, please drop me a note in the chat box so I don't miss anybody. And Jessica always helps me on the side here. So let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Great. Thank you, everyone. So I'd like to turn it over to Mary James for our invocation and inspirational words for us today. Mary.
Thank you. I have an invocation and I also have some inspirational words. So I'll start with the inspirational words poem. Sometimes things don't go, after all, from bad to worse. Some years muscadel faces down frost. Green thrives, the crops don't fail. Sometimes a person aims high and all goes well. A people sometimes will step back from war, elect an honest man, decide that they care enough that they can't leave some stranger poor. Some people become what they were born for. Sometimes our best efforts do not go amiss. Sometimes we do as we were meant to. The sun will sometimes melt a field of sorrow that seems hard frozen. May it happen for you. That's Sheena Pugh. And now for the words of invocation. This is a prayer after an election. God of all nations, Father of the human family, we give you thanks for the freedom we exercise and the many blessings of democracy we enjoy in these United States of America. We ask for your protection and guidance for all who devote themselves to the common good, working for justice and peace at home and around the world. We lift up our duly elected leaders and public servants, those who will serve us as president, as legislators and judges, those in the military and law enforcement. Heal us from our differences and unite us, O Lord, with a common purpose, dedication, and commitment to achieve liberty and justice in the years ahead for all people, and especially those who are most vulnerable in our midst. Amen.
Thank you, Mary. You're welcome. Next up, I don't see that we have any guests today yet, at least. So visiting Rotarians, I'd like to introduce Mark Collier. He's our Assistant District Governor for the Salem region and a part of our Kaiser Club. So thanks for joining us today, Mark. Good to see you. And I didn't see any club announcements at this point. So do want to give a shout out to folks that were able to come out to Deepwood to finish up the landscape work. They were very appreciative. The gentleman Mark said it would take what we were able to accomplish in 2 evenings. It would take him about 6 months to do. So it was great to see everybody and some good hard outdoor work. So thank you to all of you. Who were able to join us. So Larry Gray, how about we hop on to bell ringers?
Okay, President Sue, here we go. President Sue and Rotarians. Attention Ducks fans, Beaver fans, and fans of the Boys and Girls Club. Cindy Lanasar and Cheryl Nestor Wolf and the team at Salem Health are ringing the bell for the Boys and Girls auction. 2020 has been full of flags and penalties. And while the Pac-12 might be flagged for delay of game, we are going to have a ball at this year's Boys and Girls Club 50 years, 50 yards auction. Despite the many turnovers and fumbles we've all experienced this year, here's the game plan for what is sure to be the greatest non-event event ever. It will kick off with a silent auction on November 18th, and guests can tailgate. Yeah, that's tailgate, be great, get it? The live stream on Sunday, November 22nd at 5:30 p.m. from the comfort of their own home. While COVID really interfered with the plan for the big event, The Boys and Girls Club will hand off everything you need to throw a party with your 10 closest fans. So all punts aside, throw on your game day gear and let's get ready to rumble. If you are interested in getting in on this action and supporting the Boys and Girls Club, please contact Sue Bloom or Robin Kerner for more information on how to register or host a tailgate viewing party. Ring the bell, President Sue. Thank you.
Thank you.
Brenda Kidder would like to do a double bell ringer today. First, Brenda would like to recognize Rotarian John McCulley and his wife Julie for the many ways they support our club and our community. They are so positive and kind, which encourages me to find more ways to help those around me as well, Brenda says. Ring the bell, President Sue, for John McCulley. And second, it's time to embrace the music. The Smith Fine Arts Series online auction, a new twist on our national benefit event at Western Oregon University. Although it won't be an in-person gathering this season, we are excited to connect through this online event. Help secure the financial health of the Smith Fine Arts Series and the future of world-class performing arts and arts education for our wider community by joining us in this fun, interactive event. A link is in the chat room for more information on the Smith Fine Arts Series. Ring the bell for Brenda Kidder and the Smith Fine Arts Series, President Sue. And next, that is the last bell ringer I have received, but I suspect someone out there has a bell ringer. Please indicate in the chat or wave at President Sue or Jessica if you have a bell ringer.
I sent you one, Larry. This is Tim Murphy.
Oh,
Should have it in
Tim.
your email.
All right, hold on. Anybody else while I look for Tim? There it is. Okay.
This is Ozzy.
Ozzy, go ahead while I queue up Tim's email.
Okay, I want to ring the bell for my son Michael, who is an employee at Nike and who survived a several thousand person layoff in the past 6 months.
Wow.
My wife asked me last week, why didn't you ring the bell for Michael? And I said, I didn't think about it.
Now you have.
Ring the bell, President.
Thank you, everybody.
Congratulations, Ozzy.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay, Tim Murphy is ringing the bell for Bridgeway Recovery Services, which received national accreditation from the Council on Accreditation for all of its medical services, including mental health treatment, chemical dependency treatment, medically managed withdrawal, primary care, and treatment for problem gambling. Accreditation means Bridgeway meets the highest national standards set for the delivery of these life-saving services. Ring the bell for Tim Murphy and Bridgeway Recovery Services. That's incredible.
Well done, Tim.
Congratulations, Tim. Other bell ringers.
Tim Nissen is raising his hand.
Tim.
Yes, I had the pleasure of receiving a check for $1,000 this week in honor of Barry Nelson. And so I would like to ring the bell for Barry Nelson. This was from the Invest in Others Charitable Foundation. And the letter says, on behalf of the Invest in Others Charitable Foundation, I'm pleased to make a donation of $1,000 in honor of Barry Nelson. The Invest in Others Awards program recognizes financial advisors for their charitable work in communities across the country and around the world. Barry was recognized as an honorable mention in the Community Service Award category for their contributions to your organization, meaning the Rotary Club of Salem. And we all know the incredible amount of time and effort that Barry has put into the amphitheater, and it's nice to see that people in his profession recognize that as well. So ring the bell for Barry and the Invest in Others Foundation.
Thank you, Tim, and congratulations, Barry. Any other bell ringers from the floor, as it were? Oh, Alicia Bay. Hold, let me check here on the chat. Alicia, go ahead with your bell ringer.
Thanks, Larry. I'd like to ring the bell today on behalf of Gilbert House to thank Roth's, the grocery stores. They have donated $500 worth of gift cards to Gilbert House for our raffle that we're doing this month. So this month, people can enter the raffle, and the grand prize is $500 worth of Roth's gift cards. The second prize is games for family night at home, and third prize is Charlie Brown Thanksgiving with all the makings for your own Charlie Brown Thanksgiving at home. And the details are on our website at acgilbert.org.
Very good.
Thank you, Alicia. Congratulations. Patrick Vance has a bell ringer. In fact, he has two. He'd like to ring the bell once for the hard work of the staff at Bridgeway, and once for Rotarian Tim Murphy and his hard work. Ring the bell for, once again, for Tim and Bridgeway. Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you, Patrick.
And okay, any other bell ringers? Thank you all for your generosity. Appreciate it very much. And I should say, for our district governor, the funds raised through our bell ringers go to the support of our Salem Rotary Foundation, which provides grants for all sorts of amazing activities in our area, largely geared at helping children. So there you go, District Governor Joe.
Great. Thank you, Larry, so much. And we have I'm spotting another visiting Rotarian, Mary Louise Van Atta has joined us. So welcome, Mary Louise. So it is my pleasure to hand the program off to past District Governor Renee Campbell to present our District Governor and other officers of our district that are with us here today. So Renee.
Thank you, President Sue and Rotarian friends. Before I introduce our District Governor, I'd like to tell you a little bit more about our Assistant Governor, Mark Collier. Sue mentioned that he has been a Kaiser Rotarian for over 10 years. He served as president in 1718, but his career included serving as a Salem police officer, culminating as the Criminal Investigations Commander, while he was also teaching criminal justice at Western Oregon University. He retired from both of those positions in 2003, and he then started a second career, or third if you count those others as two careers. And the second career was in public safety, consulting, and software, and he retired from both of those in 2015. Would you please welcome our Assistant Governor, Mark Collier.
Thank you. Appreciate it. That's very nice.
Thank you, Mark. We're glad to have you here today. I'd also like to recognize, as a virtual head table, Joe's right-hand person, Karen Holton, who is serving this year as our Administrative Assistant Governor. She does a lot of things for the District Governor in the administrative area. And I'd also like to recognize some others in our club who have served as Assistant Governors. That would be Mark Wolf, Tom Golden, and Jim Booth. Would you please welcome our virtual head table? So I just finished reading the book, The Warmth of Other Suns by Isabel Wilkerson. And it tells the story of the great American migration north of hundreds of thousands of Blacks from the South from World War I through the 1970s. They came north for jobs, opportunities, education for their children, and safety from the Jim Crow laws of the South. Jo was part of that migration. She was the youngest of 13 children born to farmers sharecropping in Tennessee. She moved to Chicago to live with an older sister after her mother passed away. There she married And she and her husband moved to San Francisco, where she worked for United Airlines, relocating to the east and then back again. Jo lost her husband to cancer, eventually remarried, and moved to Oregon. She worked in corporate management at McDonald's before becoming an owner herself of as many as 5 restaurants at one time. And she joined Rotary to get a foothold in the community. Jo served as the president of the Oregon City Club in 2000, 2001, and for many years ran their Texas Hold'em fundraiser very successfully. And she served on their International Service Committee. Then she served as assistant governor to the Southeast region. When she's not running her McDonald's stores, she enjoys spending time with her husband, John, their 2 sons, and their 5 grandchildren. She enjoys traveling and is working on her bucket list of visiting all of the continents in the world. And as part of that, she did a Rotary Friendship Exchange to South Africa. She always knew she wanted to do more in the community and in the world, and Rotary opened that opportunity for her. Please welcome our District Governor, Jo Crenshaw.
Oh, thank you, Renee. Thank you very much. I was looking at this thing and thinking, were you talking about me? Or is there somebody else in the room that you were talking about? But I guess it's about me. Thank you so much. And I am absolutely overjoyed for being here today. You know, you guys put me at the, I put you at the end because we're almost done with visiting all of the clubs in our district, total of 68. And then I have 6, I think it's 6 Rotary clubs that we are going to visit. So it's been a busy time, and it's a busy time because I didn't actually expect to be incarcerated. Sorry, Mark, it had to be like this. I didn't expect to be incarcerated. I wanted to be out amongst the clubs, visiting one-on-one, but we are always able to, as Rotarians, to use the hand that we are dealt. And this one, as our Rotary International President indicated, is Rotary opens opportunities. And it really opened opportunities for us. I heard you talking, Sue, about having a technical person. Well, we don't have a technical person on our club meetings. It's normally one of the members. And Rotary opens opportunity because it's taught us that we can all do this job. We just have to take a little time and learn a few more things. And I tell you, it has been one of those learning situations that we are now into our 5th month, and we are learning. We're learning how to split the screens. We're learning how to talk to each other by not letting other folk know that we're talking to them while we're on this situation. But it has been a wonderful experience so far. And I didn't really want to do it after I found out that this was what we were going to do, but I signed up, and my mom always said, once you sign up for something and once you admit that you're going to do it, you must do it. And you do it to the very best that you can. And so that's what I am hoping that I can do during this period. Now, I wanted to talk to you, and this is a 2-prong or 3-prong talk. I first of all chat with you a little bit about what the district is looking for this year. My second thing is I want to know what you are expecting from your club this year. And then we want to talk about some of the things that we are planning and we had to readjust our plan to do. So there are 3 areas, and maybe President Stu, during this time frame, as I speak, you might want to think about having 2 or 3 of your members talk about what do they like about this club and what they would like to see continue and change and add on to their club experiences. I know you guys are a very large club. You're doing some absolutely outstanding projects, but I'm sure that you have some new people in the club that probably don't know yet how famous this club is. So as as our plan was last year, starting in October of last year, we made a plan that we wanted to do 4 things to continue this club, this district, in the direction that it had been going. We didn't want to change anything. We wanted to shore up the things that we were doing. And we knew that we had the right district and the right people to do that. So how were we going to do that? We came back together and we thought about it. We have a strategic plan that we're working on, and it accomplishes 4 things for this year. The first one, we wanted to rid the world of polio. We wanted to continue to work toward that, even though we're not the only ones working on that. So we wanted to make sure that we stayed in that mix. We wanted to build on our membership, increase our membership, and continue to maintain our membership. We add people to membership, but they sometimes tend to leave. So what we are trying to do is make sure that they stay with us by sponsoring vibrant clubs. That means that we want to interact with our foundation, our membership, and our brand to help to encourage our members to stay with us. We wanted to educate and train our Rotarians. There are programs out there that our Rotarians are not necessarily influenced by right now. One of them is we have a lot of presidents, new presidents coming online. A lot of them have not led clubs or led organizations. So what we wanted to try to do is give them an opportunity to work in training to help them to learn how to speak before large audiences, to plan their meetings, to train others to take over for them after they are done. And we knew that by having our president-elect, our president nominee, and then our president designee, that's the person that's going to take over in 3 years from now. We're all going through the training process, and these people will help to move our district forward. We're not working on changing anything in our district because it has been a district that is really well known for some of the things that come out of here. We have our our past district governors that work with us. They lead programs. Your past district governor, Renee, is leading our international program right now. And she didn't have to do that. She's already served her time. But because she loves us and she loves this district, she's doing that to help us to grow. We have our assistant governors, both Karen and both Mark, who are supporting us and helping to train those new people that are coming in. And you guys have a great wealth of recognition of people that are out there helping to move us forward. Tom Golden, it was a surprise to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. And Mr. Booth, I didn't see you as I was going through the pictures, but all of you have really put forth an extra effort to keep District 5100 in the news. And my overall responsibility this year is to make sure that I don't let this place go to heck in the handbasket. My mom has said to me before, and I can remember this, she died when I was very young, but one of the things that she told me is that you have to work to get the results you need. Education is the key for you. And those are the things that I really sort of live by every day. Education and working toward getting the results that we need. Our district is doing really well as far as growing. Our membership is about flat right now, but certain clubs are growing really well. And I think you guys are about at 168, if I'm not mistaken. And it might be a few numbers more. But at that same time, we're looking to try to grow our Rotary actors, our interactors, other clubs. Maybe there is a need or a possibility of getting another club or that you might want to bring online. We have e-clubs, some people who don't want to come to meetings. Our young people are really hyped about growth. They love to be involved in projects. So I don't, I'll have ask Sue about that as we move along. But we want to promote what we do. And this project that you're working on down at the amphitheater, that is a big project. And I'm hoping that I will be able to see the finished product or sometime in the middle here when you do your grand opening. or have you done it? That's one of the things that I think that is really something that we can encourage other clubs to work toward, a project that will last forever. You've been around for over 100 years now. And I think because your number is close to ours, we are 301. My club is 301 and you're 303, I think. But what we want to do is to continue doing those things that will help to move our Rotary organization forward. As we move through this, I am also looking to try to add some additional items on our list. Because as the district governor, I have a job to do, and I have some items that I have to touch on before I leave this position. One of them is to grow Rotary in the sense of how can we handle some of the situations that are going on in our areas right now. We had just, I guess about 3 or 4 months ago, terrible fires and devastation in our district. Some of the areas, the folk are not able to go back to work. So we have established a distress fund that we had asked our foundation to grant us monies so that we can be able to give it to those people who are not able to get it from their insurance companies or anywhere else. And that is now online, and Mark is working really hard to spot some needs in the community. And I know you have your own foundation, but this is the District 5100 Foundation that we're looking to utilize. We also are looking to establish a diversity, equity, and inclusion project brought to us by our young people from the district, the Rotaractors and the Interactors. After all of the notoriety that the Portland area has received because of injustice, racial injustice, or perceived racial injustice, we wanted to work toward fostering an understanding amongst our clubs. We're not here to tell them what to do, but we are here to listen, and with the more mature minds and those people who have been around for a while, maybe we can help club members to work through the processes. Each club is different and each club works from a different vein. And what we wanted to do is our task force to help the clubs move forward. We've had 2 meetings. We haven't formed the task force as of yet. We're working on getting those names out and really selecting it. And the goals of the task force will be from the task force. We are not, as a district, going to work toward trying to determine or let them know what they should be doing. But we thought, and we were asked, as clubs came to us and say, we need conversation. And in order to keep our clubs together, one of the things that the district governor always does is to try to manage from afar, but to try to get the folk involved in communicating with each other. And as I said before, if there are things that you don't know or things that you need from your club, and I know that there's a wealth of knowledge here, we can talk to other club members and other AGs and other presidents, and they might have something that we can use in order to move ahead. So Sue, I'm going to ask you to maybe ask 3 or so of your members if they can tell us why they love your club and what they see that you're doing well and what they would like to see in your club. And you can pick one, maybe pick one that has been around for a while and one that is just brand new or newer club member. So I can wait.
Ron Kellerman, you've been around a while. What do you love about the club?
Well, I've been in this club for most of my adult life, 35 years, I think, and it's evolved, but it's always been a very important part of our community. And it's been a very important part of my social network of friends, very close friends and acquaintances. And like the tagline we have, we get things done.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Ron. Looking through for some newer folks. He's muted, so I'm not sure if he's, David Suter, are you handy? I know you're with us, but are you available? Newer.
Yeah, I can talk.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
On the spot there, David.
What's that?
You're on the spot.
Okay, thanks. Well, again, I haven't been a member of the club since, before COVID hit. So it's been a little bit intriguing, but I mean, I like the fact that the club seems to have people like Ron who've been, with it for 35 years. I love the projects that people, that everyone's been getting involved with. And so I've enjoyed, starting the process of getting involved, and I'm just trying to get involved a little faster. And I like the fact that it's really, helping me to get to know a lot of the great things that are getting done in Salem. And I really look forward to, jumping in head first as soon as we're able to a little bit more. So,
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you, David, very much.
Thanks.
Is there a volunteer out there that would like to, one more to share with Joe? Not seeing folks. Well, Joe, for me, this has just been an incredible community. Here, I need to stand up. I'm slunking in my chair, right? These Rotarians, it's just a wonderful, caring, and supportive community for me and for our community. And I just really value the opportunity to be with you, whether it's like this or hopefully soon, whenever soon is, that we're able to start to be in person again. Earlier today, I mentioned that we had a lot of folks come out to Deepwood, and what really struck me is there was so much joy in not just the service, but that we were together, that we could see each other and talk to each other, masks and 6 feet apart and all that good stuff. But you could just feel the energy with the 20, 30 people that were out there, because they have a heart for service. It felt really good. It was very energizing to be around all the folks that could come out and help.
That's terrific. Sue, one word, if you could give me just one word, what is your club known for?
Getting things done. That's not one word though, Joe. Yeah, we are superstars.
Superstars. Okay, good. Terrific. Well,
You know I was going to have a test, Joe.
because normally it just kind of rolls off of your tongue, because you know it. No, it's always good to hear your club members talk about the club and what they perceive as the value of the club to them: community, friendship, and projects. Working locally in your community and working globally in the international realm. Mm-hmm. And I think that sometimes we don't talk about ourselves. We just do it. We're just out there doing it. But how do you feel about that? How do you feel about the Rotary Club, your Rotary Club? And, I was at my club about a week ago, and I asked them, how do they feel about their club? They all knew what they had been doing, but they couldn't tell me what they felt about it. Do you feel that you are part of your community? Do you feel that people look up to you as Rotary being people that are service above self? Do they enjoy what they're doing? Or are they out there just doing it, because Rotary says that I got to do it? Well, you have to have a fun and good feeling about it. And that's the only reason why I ask these questions, because it makes us sort of think, as a Rotary Club, we say that we are service above self. We do things and we support different avenues. And as Marcus said, we're working with the fire districts in Santiam. We're working with the fire districts up here in Portland at the Escada area. So what we are trying to do is get that information out, because people don't know that we are involved in these things at all. And that's all I want us to do, is to understand that I appreciate everything that each and every one of you are doing. And I want to make sure that others know that we are involved and we are doing good things out here for our community. We talked about a few minutes ago about ridding the world of polio. We are now down to 2 countries. Afghanistan, and Pakistan. We've completely cleared the country of Africa of the wild polio virus. And I think that that's what we have been working toward with the help of the World Health Organization and our benefactor, Bill Gates and his family foundation, and others. But what we want to do is keep the focus on our foundation, because they are the ones who help us to be able to give back to the community, to be able to support our youth organization, to be able to give these grants out. So I know that you guys are involved in the foundation. I wanted to ask that you continue. This year is supposed to be one of the ones that we are going to be pretty light because we haven't been together as clubs. And the foundation is probably one that really needs our help. So if you can, remember, each Rotarian every year is good for us to contribute. I like what you're doing in your community, and I like the number of members that you have in your club. I like the involvement that you have, and as the young man who's pretty brand new, David, has indicated, you'll get involved, David, if you stay around, because this club is active, and they're not going to let you be there and not be as active as they are. So thank you, each and every one of you, for everything that you're doing. And I asked if you have any questions of me, that you can ask them now. Whoever's doing the muting and the unmuting can do that.
That's great, Joe. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So we'll watch the chat and as well, chat's preferable. It's easier for us to catch, but if you're raising your hand, that's great too. We'll watch that. Starter question for you, Joe. What is your, so far, what is the most fulfilling moment that you've had in your term as district governor? Can be any of the years that you've been working on this.
You know, I think the most fulfilling is this year so far. It's been fulfilling because I didn't know whether I would be able to continue by not being able to get out to clubs. I didn't know whether I would be able to deliver the message to them, because I'm a talker and I'm an expressive person and I like to carry my hands. You would think I was born in Italy or someplace, you know. So I didn't know whether I would be able to do that. But as I began the trek as the governor, I was so pleased and so impressed by the energy that was being generated from the clubs, that they were really enthused. They understood that they couldn't get out, but it's as if it was a step in walking. You just move on to the next step. The next step is, how are we going to communicate with our community? How are we going to communicate with our clubs? And how can we get the things done that we need to get done? You know, we knew that we couldn't do our youth exchange because they couldn't travel. We knew that the Rotaractors couldn't get out, but we all, thanks to Zoom, was able to communicate. And I think that energy that was generated by the clubs really helped me to move on. You know, I knew what Rotary International has asked me to do. My list is long. So I have to keep working toward getting that accomplished. And I think that's what really surprised me, is the energy and the motivation level in the clubs.
Great, thank you. Mary James has a question for you. Mary?
My question was, what has been the best way you've seen clubs attracting new members during the pandemic? And what are your thoughts on, this is a huger question, but what are your thoughts on how we can improve diversity in our new memberships and make all members of our community feel welcome as Rotarians?
Oh God, that's a long question. The first one, let me handle the first one. How can you attract new members to your club during this period? Some of the things that I've seen some of the clubs do is that they have had a day where they say on their club meeting, they will put out on their bulletin, they will utilize Facebook or whatever social medium that they have. They will advertise if they are having a day of information. They will plan a program that is very interesting to maybe younger people. They'll go to some of the younger people in their clubs and invite 3 or 4 people in and ask them to come back, and then to tell them how they felt about being at the club. And they have generated several members like that. There's a couple of clubs like that. The other ones is to have great programs, have programs that are interesting, things happening in their community. I've seen several of those happen, and they have members of your club invite somebody. You know, how many people can you invite today? And I think it's just getting the word out, because we are sociable people, and we talk on the phone, and we talk here with Zoom, and they can come. They don't have to stay the whole meeting. You know, nobody's going to check you when you check out. You know, but you know, you can say, hey, come and listen to this speaker today. And as you asked me about diversity and inclusion, that's one of the ways that we have been doing, is that we're inviting really good speakers to the meetings. And when they get a speaker, you can ask any questions that you want. You don't have to feel like you're being, what is the term? You don't feel like you're being picked up on or anything of that sort. It's a free and interesting meeting. And then you ask, you know, if there's anybody that you know in your community that you could ask. You know, is there someone that you can ask to come to your meeting? And you can't, unless you know them really well, you can say, hey, come on, join my meeting. Because you really want good members in your club. You know, you don't just want somebody that's want to come because maybe when you start back to eating, you get a good meal. But that is not it. You want people that are really coming to, they believe in service above self. They believe that they can give back to their community, and they're coming, and you welcome them in, and then they are there for a while. So it's just the ask, just getting to the community and asking people. You know, we can't make people join Rotary, but we can make the program so interesting that they will beg us to want to join. So those are the things that I've seen happening.
Great, thank you. Larry Gray, you have company too, Larry, but you have a question. That is a beautiful baby. Oh my gosh.
His name is Lane. District Governor Joe, I wanted to hear a little bit more about the diversity and inclusion group that has been put together at the district level. That's a concern of mine about our club, is increasing our diversity. And I don't mean just young people. So please tell us more about that and what we might be able to do. Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, one of the reasons why we started the conversation is that we had several Rotaractors come to us and came to me especially and asked me if they could communicate, if there was some way that they could communicate about diversity, equity, and inclusion, especially after we had the George Floyd killing and the riots in the Portland area. And they are all members of that community, and they were just sort of baffled as to what could we do as a group of Rotarians. Why weren't they hearing anything from Rotary? And we took them back to some of the paperwork that we had, and we talked about it. And then they said, well, there's a lot of people out there, the clubs don't know, and they're asking questions, and they're coming up with designs and solutions that they don't have any idea whether they're on the right track or not. And so we thought that we might open it up and have a discussion. And they opened the discussions up, sent out invitations over the through DAC-DB, and was to everybody, not just the presidents of the club, to everybody. And we had about 68 people at the initial opening. And then we've had discussions, I think 2 since. They wanted a task force, somewhere that they could feel comfortable in going to and say, hey, I have this problem in my community, in my club. No one wants this person in the club. We don't want this person in the club. And what they have done is they have a task force that they want to get a task force together so that they can communicate to the club members or to the president or to the person representing that club. And so maybe try this, maybe try that. Not necessarily giving them this. There is no one person. It's the group that works together. We're right now formulating the plan to try to get the the task force members up, and that should be coming out from our Rotaract chair here in probably next week. I think she indicated it. But we want people to join because they want to make it a little bit more comfortable and easy for people that are not like the mainstream to want to join Rotary. You know, I came and, you know, I'm not like the mainstream, and I didn't know anything about Rotary when I joined. When I was living in Chicago, I was living right down the street from Rotary International. I had no idea what it was about. And so when I first was asked to join the club, actually I was asked to go to lunch, and then I went to lunch a couple of times. And that's what you might, you know, we want to try to do and generate some enthusiasm for Rotary. Most people think of Rotary, most people of the other races think of Rotary as an old man's club, sitting in a room, drinking coffee. They have no idea what we do, the services that we provide, the support that we give to our community. So that's what we're trying to do. And that's what diversity, equity, and inclusion is all about. And I read our Rotary magazine for the month. International is coming up, has appointed a task force to talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion. And we are trying to formulate our task force, so we have someone to build on now. We can talk to them about some of the things. And these are people that have had, in their lives, they are members of the equality or equity, what is it? They were trained in how to do this. So we want to make sure that, you know, we don't want to steer people off on the wrong track, but we want to listen. And that's what we're all about. That's what our diversity, equity, and inclusion is all about. It's listening. And you know, when we stop and we listen to one another, we're all the same. You know, you want to bring people in of different cultures or different races or different religions, we're all the same. But we just sometimes don't stop to listen. And that's what we were trying to do, is formulate this group of how to listen to each other.
Wonderful, thank you. Ron Kellerman, you had a question for Joe?
Yes, and actually, I guess we're on a membership theme right now. How are we doing as a district membership-wise? And are other clubs in the district struggling and having declines in membership? And then in the whole Rotary world in the United States and abroad, what is the trend in Rotary membership?
Well, I tell you, the trend in Rotary membership is not as good as it was last year, because we're all in a lockdown type situation. But here in America, here for us in our district, I'll break it down to our district, we're not that far off than we were. We're probably about, the last time I saw it, overall a total of about 7. That's 7. So we are still hanging in there, but we can see the writing on the wall. You know, you're in COVID, you haven't been to a meeting for a while. There are people you don't see, and you go back to them and they say, well, I'm not coming out until this is over. Well, who knows when this is over with, you know? So what we have to do is to try to entertain or talk to those people that are in a situation where they don't want to continue their membership. Figure out some way to communicate with them. Maybe it's like we were talking about, we form little small groups and we talk to them rather than having them come to this big group today. Maybe it's just, you know, the older people who are maybe in a nursing home and they can't get out or something of that sort. So yes, there is a slight decline, but we are continuing on, and I keep an eye out for it every month. We get a monthly review of it, and we're not going as fast as 50% down. And I say to you that in your club, you just probably need to have somebody come up with a buddy system, and maybe every week you call this buddy and try, you know, I've been seeing you at Rotary for a while. Are you okay? Or invite someone else to come. So I don't know how your membership is going, and I know that it was at 168. So Sue, are you guys okay as far as your membership is concerned?
We are. We've seen some attrition, but we also have a variety of potential new members to work to steward through the system.
Okay,
which is great.
That's good, and most of them are. And you know, the smaller clubs are a little bit tougher because they only have a few, and you lose two, you know, you're going downhill. So we have to all sort of work together to try to see how we can do it. There is no magic bullet. I have no playbook for this. I'm telling you, I'm not pulling this out of my head. You know, we are all working together with the knowledge and the skills we have. I mean, I've managed businesses before. I've managed organizations before, and I know that sometimes people are hurting, and that's when we have to jump in and sort of help them out too. So that's one of the things we're working on.
That's great.
Yeah. Renee has a question in.
Yes, she does.
Can you speak to hybrid club meetings where some meet in person appropriately distanced and some virtually? We are hungry for community. I think Kaiser and South Salem have tried this. I'm going to ask Mark to tell me about South Salem. How did they do? And I'll tell you that some clubs have tried it, Renee. As I said, Hermiston and LeGrand, Oregon did it very well at my meeting when I was there. I mean, I didn't see them or talk to them, but there was a microphone up front, and there was a person taking the microphone around to every member of the club that was in there, and they were able to talk. There were some people on the phone, and half of the audience was at the place where they eat. They had to bring their own food because they weren't able to be served by the caterer that they had. So there are some areas that I can give you some presidents or some AGs that you could talk to, and they could tell you about it. I also sent a copy out from the district up north in north of Seattle and the lower part of Canada. They are trying it also, but they have technicians, sort of like what you have here, someone who is considered to be an engineer that's helping them to focus on how they can get it done. It can be done, and Zoom has a whole playbook of how to do these things. So.
Great. And then Warren has a question for you also, Joe, in the chat box. Or
Yes. It was a part of my visit to South Africa. First time I had gone to Africa. And to visit South Africa, I understand from my history that my folk come from East Africa, which is up in Nigeria, Cameroon area. But I went to South Africa. I had not been to Africa at all. And the friendship exchange, that was my first one. And I tell you, as soon as we get another one going, and we're going to try to get one going here, it was absolutely glorious. We stayed in the homes of Rotarians. We landed and was picked up by Rotarians in their cars. Everybody was partial out. And we sort of rotated. You know, this week, these 2 days, I was with our family. My husband and I was with a group. And then the next day or so, we would exchange so we could get a chance to visit all of them. Everybody had a different Rotarian. We saw projects. That was during the time of when AIDS was just finishing up. And we went to some of the area homes where kids from AIDS were living because their parents had all died, and they were being served by Rotarians. They were their mothers, their fathers, and their homes. And then we saw the project as it was going, and the ladies were sewing and making food and all. That was one of them, run by the Salvation Army. So that's one of the things that I sort of remember really clearly. Then we also went to where Nelson Mandela was in the prison. We also went to where Mahatma Gandhi was arrested. It was a lot of history, but we were able to do that with Rotarians. We visited their meetings, and that was in the time when they didn't have women in the club meetings. The women was called Anns, and they had their own little space out to the side somewhere.
Yeah.
And they were not in the club. So it was absolutely, if you ever get a chance to take a friendship study exchange, and I'm sure we will, or another group from another area will have one here as soon as things sort of clear up, try it. You learn a lot about Rotary. You learn a lot about Rotarians. And on my first visit as a district governor, I was in Hood River. And who do I see but two people that were on this trip with me to South Africa? And they were the bicyclists, and they had taken their bicycles, and we let them off in one area of South Africa. We told them, we'll see them when we get home. Make sure you got your passport. But it was,
District Governor,
yes.
District Governor, I just want to let you know, we did a district, my wife and I, and quite a few of us from this club did a friendship exchange to India. And then we had a group come in from Sri Lanka. I think we had a group go out to Sri Lanka. And then my wife and I, not through this club, but through when I'm at university, did some service work in Tanzania. And that's why I was interested about Africa, because most of us get educated in college. We get Western civilization education. We don't get the other Asian or the Eastern portion of education, and it is an eye-opener beyond all things. And I really appreciate your input, because I would love to go to South Africa to see those things, just as I had to see other things in India and so forth. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm waiting for the next one to open up here closely too.
There we go. Very good. Joe, thank you so much for joining us today. It was really, truly a pleasure to have you. I want to thank you for your leadership and all that you do to support our club and the clubs throughout the district. And in honor of you, we'll make a donation to our own Salem Rotary Foundation. So again, let's give the applause to District Governor Joe and your leadership and your support and your great work. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Sue, and thank you to Salem Rotary. I appreciate the invitation. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. So next week we have architects from CB2 will join us to speak about the amphitheater project. It's going to be a really another great presentation, and Russ McCracken will be our program chair. So until then, have a wonderful day, wonderful week, and we'll see you back here on the BAT screen next Wednesday. How about that? So take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye, y'all.